In certain places around the world, events have occurred that defy all logic. No one has been able to explain or interpret them, yet everyone agrees they are real. In today's video, we'll learn about places around the world with strange stories that can be found on Google Maps. Every place has a story, but some are unbelievable, like this terrifying hole that hides a secret, or this bridge haunted by spirits. Follow me to the end to unravel the mystery behind these places. The Overtown Bridge. The Overtown Bridge was built in 1959 in Dumbarton, Scotland. Constructed in an old Gothic style, it overlooks a 50-foot deep gorge and leads to Overton House, a 19th-century mansion in the Scottish lowlands. At first glance, the Overtown Bridge looks like any other bridge from that period, but one terrifying detail sets it apart from any other structure in the area. For the past 80 years, a strange phenomenon has been taking place. Hundreds of dogs have jumped from the bridge into the gorge below, dying for no clear reason. Sometimes the dogs survive the fall, but are so severely injured they can't move as they did before. According to some eyewitness reports, even stranger things have happened. Some dogs have jumped from the bridge, survived, climbed back up, and then jumped a second time, as if seeking death. What exactly is going on? According to various sources, some reports claim that over 300 dogs have jumped from this bridge. Regardless of the number, what is certain is that many dogs have died at this bridge for a mysterious reason. This kind of incident at Overtown Bridge has led people to come up with all sorts of strange theories. Some believe the bridge is haunted by ghosts and spirits. According to Celtic pagan beliefs, the bridge is located at a point of connection between heaven and earth. Other locals lean toward more supernatural theories, with many attributing the dogs' deaths to the White Lady of Overton, who they say is the ghost of the Overton House's widow. Another theory common among locals is that the dogs are being affected by the negative energy from a tragic incident in 1994, when a 32-year-old man threw his infant son from the bridge, claiming his son was the Antichrist and that he was getting rid of him. After the crime, the father was declared mentally ill and committed to a psychiatric hospital. For all the strange theories that have become popular in recent years, some researchers have offered more logical explanations for the mysterious events at Overtown Bridge. In 2006, animal behaviorist David Sands came to investigate the bridge. After his research, he hypothesized that the dogs were likely smelling wild animals beneath the bridge, causing them to get excited, run, and jump off the bridge without being fully aware, leading to their deaths. According to official statistics, mink populations have been multiplying in Scotland since the 1950s, and most dog breeds there prefer mink over any other animal. Even though many theories about paranormal activity at the bridge still exist, it's possible these dogs died by mistake. What do you think is the most plausible theory? Do you believe it's just dogs chasing animals? Or is there something unsettling about this place that makes dogs jump from the bridge and even climb back up to jump a second time? Let me know in the comments. In the 1960s, the Soviet Union and the United States were in a major conflict to develop advanced space exploration technologies in what was called the space race. But what many people don't know is that the two countries were also competing to drill as close to the center of the Earth as they could. As is well known, the main reason for drilling was to search for oil and precious minerals, but developing machines that could reach close to the Earth's center would also help in understanding other phenomena like the causes of earthquakes and volcanoes more deeply. So the goal wasn't just about money, but also about major scientific objectives. In 1958, the U.S. government began a project called Project Mohole, with the goal of retrieving a sample of the Earth's mantle. They were drilling on the ocean floor off the coast of Guadalupe Island, Mexico.
Over 8 years, they drilled more than 800 feet into the seafloor. But in 1966, the U.S. House of Representatives was forced to stop the project because it became too expensive and they could no longer afford to continue.
4 years later, in 1970, it was the Soviet Union's turn. They began drilling near the Barents Sea on the border with Norway in the Russian city of Murmansk. At the time, the Soviets' goal was to drill as deep as they could, with researchers hoping to reach almost 9 miles. Unlike the US, the Soviets were more successful in their attempt and were able to drill deeper into the Earth's crust, which led to the creation of the Kola Super Deep Borehole, known as the deepest man-made hole in the world. The Kola borehole is over 40,000 feet deep, or roughly 7.5 miles, which is much deeper than the Mariana Trench. This means its depth even exceeds the height of Mount Everest. Now, pay close attention to what's coming next. The project was going well, and according to expectations, but the scientists discovered that the temperature was much higher than they had anticipated. By the time they reached a depth of 7.5 miles below the surface, the drill recorded a temperature of nearly 360 degrees Fahrenheit, which was much higher than the 212 degrees Fahrenheit the scientists had expected at that depth. So even though the Soviets broke the record with the Kola borehole, they too were forced to stop the project in 1992 due to the increasing rock density and high temperatures that no one had anticipated. In 2005, the hole was completely and permanently sealed.
But that's not the end of the story. There's another frightening reason that makes people remember the Kola Super Deep Borehole. In the late 1980s, a strange story and reports began to circulate in several Finnish Christian newspapers. These reports claimed that a group of Soviet scientists had drilled a hole to the center of the Earth and lowered a heat-resistant microphone into the hole. Through this microphone, they allegedly heard terrifying screams coming from the bottom of the hole. During the 1990s, this story spread to other countries until it reached American newspapers, which began to report on it. As the story spread, audio recordings began to appear on the internet, claiming to be the screams of tormented souls from the depths of the earth. People started saying that these sounds were the screams of souls suffering in hell. The story even reached us in the early 2000s, and most of us heard the recording in our childhood. At the time, people believed the story, and it spread widely as if it were a proven fact, not just a fantasy.
You might not know this, but it was later discovered that the original recording of the tormented screams was completely fake. It was a repeated mix of sound effects and the soundtrack from the 1972 movie Barren Blood. From that moment on, everyone knew that these screams were just a hoax with no basis in reality, except for some of us who still believe they're the sounds of hell, with some religious figures even using them for their content. But does this negate the possibility that real sounds were heard in the Kola borehole and other deep holes? In 2013, a Dutch artist named Leout Joti went to the KTB Super Deep borehole in Germany, which is 30,000 feet deep. In coordination with official bodies, she lowered a microphone protected by a heat shield to see if she could hear any sounds from the bottom of the hole. And you know what? A strange rumbling sound was actually heard from the bottom of the hole through the microphone. Scientists couldn't explain it at all. It was even described as the sound of hell, while others said it was the earth breathing. Although the sound was terrifying, most scientists agreed that it was coming from the movement of rocks rearranging themselves after the drill had disturbed them. Yet, there are still people who are convinced that these sounds are of people suffering in hell. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.
The Bataika Crater. In 1949, a Russian geologist named Vadim Kalpakov accidentally discovered a mysterious crater over 500 feet in diameter and about 140 feet high in Irkutsk, Siberia. In the center of the crater, he found a small hill about 40 feet high, shaped like an eagle's nest, with a white egg inside.
Curious to know what was inside this crater, Kolpakov decided to climb the hill himself to see if his theory that the crater was caused by a meteor was correct. But the locals warned him about this fiery eagle's nest, which has since become famous all over the world. They told him it was haunted by an evil force and that anyone who entered it would die a short time later.
The Batagayka Crater. Kolpakov paid no attention to these warnings, seeing them as baseless superstitions, and confidently climbed the hill. But when he got there, he didn't find any rock samples to support his meteor theory. Over time, more and more expeditions were made to the crater, including one in 2005, where the head of the research team died of a heart attack shortly after visiting the crater. Based on the results of recent explorations, scientists have ruled out volcanic eruptions and even a meteor strike as possible causes for the crater.
The Batagayka Crater. With no clear answers, some people started coming up with various theories to explain the crater's origin. One of these theories suggests that a spaceship created the crater when it landed in that spot. Others have linked the crater to the Tunguska event, for which no trace of a meteor has ever been found. One of the things that makes it so difficult to determine the origin of the fiery eagle's nest is that the crater's shape has been continuously changing, which suggests that whatever caused it is still affecting it to this day.
The only thing scientists are certain of is that the crater is about 250 years old, which they determined by studying the tree rings of trees growing on the hill. Strangely, it has been scientifically proven that the trees near the crater grow faster than normal, similar to what happened to the forests around Chernobyl after the nuclear disaster. To this day, scientists have not been able to determine what caused the Kolpakov cone and have found no meteor fragments or metal pieces in the crater to support people's theories. Today, the most logical explanation is that the hill may have been caused by a leak of hydrogen fluids and heat from underground due to a nearby volcano. This could be the reason for the changes in the size of the tree rings and could also explain why scientists thought they were growing at an unusual rate. Despite all the explanations, the origin of the eagle's nest will remain a mystery for many years to come. That brings us to the end of the video. If you like this series and would like to see more parts, let me know in the comments. That's it for me, your brother Dasan. Glory to you, O God, and praise be to you. I bear witness that there is no God but you. I seek your forgiveness and repent to you.